So we've got a 2016 Silverado 2500 here. It has a L96 6-liter Gen 4, which is pretty awesome. It had a couple of codes here. Had a P0121 throttle body or throttle position sensor performance. Cleaned the throttle body. I didn't test drive it yet because it had some other issues going on, and we had lean codes for both banks. Freeze frame showed long-term fuel trims at 30 and 31%. So what I did was I went ahead and cleaned the throttle body, and it actually had an air leak. The tube that plugs into the, I guess it's a silencer that goes on top of the engine there, the vent breather tube that goes to the valve cover was actually popped out, so I'm pretty confident that took care of that. But I saved the freeze frame, and when I get it put back together here, I will go ahead and drive it under those conditions, and I'll check my fuel trims and stuff. It's not rocket science. So anyway, boom, done on that. So the other problem that I had to tackle was it had, of course, broken exhaust manifold bolts. And the way that I do those is pull the shield off, get it nice and warm, you know, get the engine up to operating temperature or smoking hot on those manifolds. And then I will, before I try to attempt to remove the rest of the bolts, because they are locked, they do have Loctite on them, the original bolts, I'll take a torch and I'll heat them up, you know, just warm them up before I try turning them. Well, sometimes that doesn't work, sometimes it does work. A lot of times it does. Well, I ended up breaking 3 or 4 bolts, and there was enough of them sticking out where I thought, well, I can weld a nut on them, or I can grab them with a pair of vice grips. So I was able to get, I think 3 of them out. There were 2 that were already broken on each end. The one back where the firewall juts in, you don't have a lot of room to work with, but it had some sticking out. So I welded a washer and a nut on that one, and I had it almost out, and it was turning really nice. You know, I'm going really careful working it back. Of course it broke off, and it broke off recessed in the head. Well, at that point you have to make a decision, you know. I pulled the head off, and I took it down to Hans at Redhead Engines, and he uses his Sun and seat and guide machine and a centering bit for a lathe, and you know, gets it chucked up in there, just drill them right out, and then of course we helicoiled them. So you know, it's no damage done there, and these are really easy to work on. They come apart really easy, and they go together really easy. You know, you don't even need a lot of tools to do that. You do need torque wrenches though, because you want to torque everything to the fact, you know, the way the engineers want you to torque the intake manifold on, do it that way. The head, same way, you know, do it that way. But other than that, they're really easy to work on. So the other thing we got going on here, the transmission fluid, it's got about 140,000 miles on it, and I don't know, it's pretty black. So we're gonna go ahead and do our fluid exchange on it. We're gonna exchange all the fluid. I'll probably run 2-3 extra quarts through it, you know, to kind of flush it out a little bit. And the radiator was leaking, because these things, they got pretty crappy radiators in them. So I've got a radiator coming. I think it needed some brake pads too. But as far as the drivability stuff, when I get it back together, I can go drive it under those conditions that the freeze frame showed me that my code set, and I can look at my fuel trims and you know, drive it enough to where it runs all the monitors, you know, everything sets, and then I can ship it out of here. But take one of these over a Ford diesel any day. They're a lot easier to work on, and they're probably a better truck. But anyway, thanks.